Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video where I will be doing a first impressions on the brand new Blend Bunny Lure palette. I want to say Lure so badly because that's how I would say it in my accent, but Lure palette, Lure. We're just gonna go with it. So as we typically do here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you guys some product details, then I'm gonna show you guys some swatches. I'm not doing live swatches because it's like 24 shades, so I'm gonna insert some swatches for you, and then I'm gonna dive into a quick eye look. Maybe there'll be a bonus look, doubtful, but I'm gonna do this look basically, and then I'll come back and give you guys my sort of first impressions thoughts on this video. If this is your first time watching me, welcome. I'm Jamila. I love all things beauty. I love all things makeup and skincare, and I especially love sharing my tips and tricks for how to find high-end and luxury beauty products at bargain prices. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I would absolutely love if you would consider subscribing and joining the fam. Alright, so I want to keep this relatively short, so let's just dive into product details. Before we go into product details, I want to say very quickly that I was gifted these products from the brand. So take that however you want. I am still gonna be as honest and raw as I always am with my videos, and I was planning to purchase this on my own anyway because Blend Bunny is one of my sort of shortlist brands where I am always looking at their releases and I have been obsessed with their products. I have purchased about half of their palettes and have been gifted the other half. I also have my Blend Bunny tumbler. I have two of these. I have one in pink, this is the pink, and I have one in purple because I love this. I bought both of them myself, and I just want to let you all know kind of like off the jump that I really like this brand. So I'm always looking out for their products, and the Blend Bunny matte formula is my favorite matte formula, just period. So I'm going into this with the expectation that this is going to be same matte formula, but you never know, these brands will surprise us. So let's talk a little bit about the product details. So the Lure palette is the first release of Blend Bunnies for 2022, and they are actually releasing two palettes, so a quad as well as the Lure. The Lure palette will be available January 20th, and it will retail for $46 USD. There are a number of influencer codes out there, so you can get this at a little bit of a discount, and Blend Bunny typically does 25% off sales, so you can also save money if you decide to purchase later. In terms of the palette, it is a sort of green, sort of mermaid inspired palette. This is pretty textured, so you can kind of like feel on the palette, like you can hear the scratching. On the back, it has the ingredients for the palette. It also says that this is vegan, cruelty free, and has a 12-month shelf life and was made in China. So if those are things that concern you, you have all of the product details there. Now let's open this up and show you this baby. So these are all of the shades. One of the things I appreciate the most about Blend Bunny is the fact that their palettes are arranged in a way that makes sense to my brain. Now, let me turn off my lights really quickly. I put on my lights because the sun is going down and I like to film in natural light, but it's winter so it sets really early, but I want you all to see the true color of this. Okay, so the lights are off and this is the palette. This is the true color of the palette. And the way in which this is laid out is that you have a sort of peachy neutral row, like this is kind of like grayish, then you have a green, purple, a kind of teal row, a pink row, and then a royal blue row. And what I appreciate about Blend Bunnies is that they actually arrange their palette in a way that makes sense for me as someone who's not a makeup artist. Like you can just go straight down the row and get a really monochromatic look, or you can mix and match as you see fit. And I really do appreciate sort of the gradient that they are always working with, because you can start light in terms of, it basically tells you where to go. Crease, deepen things up, full depth. This row is honestly deeper than I thought it was going to be, because sometimes they tend to have really light rows, which really work for me. But I feel like this is a nice sort of light row that would work for all of the complexions possible and not be too light or too ashy. And then the top is their shimmers. So you only get 6 shimmers in this 24 pan palette. And right now I will insert some swatches so that you guys can see what it looks like. So as you can see from these swatches, there's a ton of pigment with each of these shades. The shimmers are really high impact. They're super shiny, super sparkly, really great. One thing I will say about swatching this palette and even looking at it head on is that I did feel like there were two shimmers, the green and then this teal row, that were very, very close. And one day I want to put both of them on my eyes next to each other to see if I really see a difference, because swatching them, they looked really close. And a lot of times when you have super close shimmers on the eyes next to each other, you can't really pick up the difference. So that was the one thing that I saw when I swatched this. This pearl shade here is also one that it doesn't explicitly say that it's a duochrome, but when I look at it in different ways, like here it looks kind of gray, here it looks really pink, and there's like a hint of blue. Like it gives kind of duochrome, multichrome vibes that I'm just like, this is so beautiful, but it doesn't say that this is a duochrome. Anyways, and for those of you who do have eye sensitivities, this is a pressed pigment palette in terms of a couple of the shades. So the shades Sailor's Delight, Charmed, Bioluminescent, Baited, Jellyfish, Storm Ahead, Booty, Seductress, Explore, Pirate's Life, X Marks the Spot, Tentacles, and the Deep are pressed pigments. So technically they're not suitable for the immediate eye area because they have not been FDA approved in the US. I have never had issues with pigments. I don't have sensitive eyes in that regard, and I've been using the Blend Bunny palettes for a while and I've never had any sensitivities. But if you do, just take a look at the ingredients, see if it's going to work for you or not. So one thing I said in the intro was that this is a part of a two-part release. The second product that's coming out on January 20th is the Trove palette. So Blend Bunny is releasing this little quad of multichromes. This is the first time the brand is releasing multichromes, and this is going to retail for $68. So yes, she is pricey. I'm not going to go over this quad in this video because I want to do a dedicated video on this and probably show you guys a couple of comparisons. And I will say, I feel you, because the price in this made me swallow a little bit. I was like, but one thing that the brand did do is that they tried to explain on their Instagram the cost as to why it works out this way. Multichrome shadows are really expensive to make. We know this. That is why brands like Leona, Terra Moons, their multichrome singles are pretty expensive. Like you can get a multichrome anywhere between $16 to $24, $25. So taking that price into account, and if you would just add up like the singles cost of it, it is on par with everything else on the market. That being said, I totally get folks' reservation in spending that amount of money on 4 multichromes. So I really recommend that you look at the swatches that I will insert right now, and then take a look at your collection, see if you have other products that have that shift. I will be doing a video, like I said, on this separately because I want to show you guys how this looks and I want to give you a couple comparisons. And I haven't put these on my face yet, so I can't tell you anything about the quality, but I'll be doing a separate video on this. But I can say, just looking at this, some of these from swatching, they have shifts of other shadows that I've seen. And there are a number of multichrome brands on the market. I think you just pick whatever works for you. Think about the shipping cost, because these single multichrome shades can get expensive. So just so you can see, these are the multichrome shades here. It's 4 shades. And I'm going to try to show you the shift. It's going to be very hard to see. But what is always a little bit helpful is that when you look in the mirror, you can really see the different colors of the shadow. Like you can kind of see that this is blue-green. You can kind of see the gold. So looking at things head on versus in the mirror, you can start to see some of the shifts there, like blue, purple. So be on the lookout for that. I will try to get that up before both of these collections go live. So now that we've gone over the product details and the swatches for both palettes, let's dive into me applying them on my face so that you can see how I created this look, and then I'll come back and give you my first impressions thoughts. Okay, so I'm going to attempt something I have not done in a while, and that is a halo eye. So pray for me, y'all. I hope this turns out well. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go into the sort of pink row, taking the lightest shade, Baited, and I'm going to use that as my transition shade. Imitation is the highest form of flattery. I'm plopping that directly into the crease and just blending that all over. Per usual, excellent pigmentation and blendability. Next, I'm gonna go into my Blend B1 brush. It's a very tiny blending brush. And I'm going to go into the shade Booty, which is the second shade down from that pink shade. And I'm gonna deepen things up a little bit. This is such a pretty color. Ooh, okay. 10 out of 10 on pigment. I already love how this is looking. So pretty. And then to start sort of building the halo, I'm gonna go into the purple shade. So we went from this row to this row, going into the deep purple. Actually, let's start with the one right above it, and then we'll build to get some depth with this. So let's start with this one, then we'll go into this one. I'm gonna start to really form that halo on the inner and the outer part of the eye. And I'm going in with the lighter purple shade because these mattes are very, very pigmented, and I want to see how much depth I could get with this one first before I have to go in with the other one. You can see really nice depth. You can really still see the difference between the pink and the purple shades. So definitely good depth there and a good differentiation between both shades. Just like me. I can see your halo. Halo. And of course we're gonna leave that center shade pretty open. So I'm gonna start by adding the purple onto this side as well. Just building it up, and then we'll go into the darker purple to give us a little bit more depth. These brushes are soft. This is my first time using some of these brushes, and I didn't realize how soft they were. I bought these brushes during Black Friday last year. And wow, they are soft. Okay, now let's go into the deep shade. Oh, but everyone can see you're the cheapo repo pizza, and I'm the Mona Lisa. You're talking while I'm walking by. Look a little green, I know you're dead. No, you won't want mine, so take my advice and get alive. Getting a tiny bit of patchiness. Let's see if I can cover that up. Okay. I don't know what's happening there. But you can see the difference in depth in both eyes. So I'm just going back on this eye with that deep purple. The other thing too about this palette is that there is a black. So if you wanted to use the black to deepen things up instead of going in with the deeper purple, you could as well. It's been such a long time since I've done a halo eye. I want to put two shimmers in this halo, and I think it's gonna ruin it. But I have to try because I am me and me is problematic. I feel like this is just not gonna go the way I need it to. I'm just gonna say I don't recommend this, but I want to do it, so we're gonna attempt. Now I really want to feel like a mermaid goddess. I want to put a little bit of blue in this look, and I really want to use this shade here. So I'm thinking that I can do this shimmer and this shimmer as a halo. Y'all, if this looks like shit, I'm gonna be so mad. Hold on, let me try a little something first. Let me just try to sketch this out and see. Okay, cleaning off my brush, my B1 brush. I'm gonna go into the deep blue. This is called Bioluminescent. And I'm gonna put that into the outer parts of each of the halos, blending it into the matte shade. And let's see how that looks. This brush might be too soft for this. Yeah, this isn't picking up very well with that brush. Let me try. So I'm trying this Bobbi Brown smudge brush. Well, I guess using that equation, you must really fucking love me. Now I can bang you on the shit. Check the fit. Okay, that's working better. Okay, I know this is looking weird, but keep the faith. Keep the faith. We're gonna pull it together. We're gonna pull it together. Okay, not terrible. It'll be fine in the end, I think. I hope. And then lastly, I'm gonna go into this shade here. It's called Pearl. It's beautiful. It's kind of like a multi-curl. And I want to plop that into the center right here. Okay, now that kind of picked up a lot of that blue, and I love the kind of reflectiveness this is giving. Okay, so I'm gonna replicate this on this eye, and I'm gonna go back into the brush that has the blue shimmer on it and really blend those two shimmers together. I'm gonna end up adding a little bit more blue too, because I still want to make sure that some of that blue peeks through, especially when you look at it at different angles. Like, you know, I want you to be able to see the blue and that sort of purple pinkness in there. So I'll add a little bit more blue once we get to cleaning up and blending everything together. But for now, really like how this is going. I'm gonna do the same thing on this eye. Be right back. Okay, this is what the eyes are looking like for now. I'm not obsessed, but I don't hate it, which is not terrible. Okay, I'm gonna go finish up the rest of my face, do a little bit of blending and cleaning up as I typically do, because I feel like this is a very harsh halo and I like to blend my halos together. I like to blend my eyes until they like fall out, basically, because I don't like seeing harsh lines, and I think you can see that very clearly with this. So I'm gonna do a little bit of blending, a little bit of cleaning up. I'll finish up the rest of my face and I'll be right back to give you guys my first impressions thoughts. Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Okay guys, so this is the final look, and Blend Bunny Matte, just listen, she just does it again. Okay, let me tell you everything else that I'm wearing on my face. So I am wearing my Lancome Teinte Idole foundation. I actually purchased a new shade in this because the one I had was a little too light. So this is the shade 495 Suede Warm, Suede W. For my blush, I am wearing my NARS Basic Instincts Quad. This is one that I've beaten up quite a bunch. I usually just end up mixing these two shades together, so that's what I did for this look. For my highlight, I'm wearing my Pat McGrath highlight. This is, well, I don't even know what this one was, but it's Luna Nude and it's in that gold packaging, so I believe this was a limited edition one. For my lips, I'm wearing my Blend Bunny Tease combo. So they do have lipsticks, if you didn't know. So it's the Tease liner with the lipstick, and I topped it off with my Fenty Gloss Bomb in the original Fenty shade. I think that's it. Oh no, for bronzer, I'm wearing this Revolution Glow in the shade Medium. I think I'm super close to hitting pan. You can really see the outline of the container, so doing my best to hit pan on this. And that's pretty much it. That's all the main stuff. Now let's talk about Lure, or Law. See, in Trinidad I would say Law, because it would sound like that, but in American it's Lure. In American. But y'all know what I mean. So I think that this is a beautiful palette. I think it's absolutely stunning, gorgeous, true pigmented shadows, especially mattes. Typical Blend Bunny formula, very pigmented, very rich. I did experience a little bit of patchiness when I was blending, but honestly I think it might just be this primer on my lids, because I've gotten that with other shadows too, and this is not a primer I plan on repurchasing because it can be a little bit finicky with some shadows. But I think once everything blended out, it just kind of went away, so fine. And I really love this color story. I really gravitated towards this because it just kind of is me. The blues, the pinks, the greens, everything. I think that I'm not super in love with the shimmer formula. Now, Blend Bunny does tend to have a couple different shimmer formulas. This actually reminds me very much of the shimmers in the Noctilucent Highlight Palette, which I have here. So these are the highlights, and I feel like the formula is pretty spot on for the shimmers in this. And what I think about these are that they are just a little bit creamy, harder to pick up with a brush, but they're definitely more on the creamier side than I like it to be. I really like the shimmers that were in the Dollhouse palette because those were a little bit on the drier side and definitely stuck to my lids a little bit more. But this is by no means a bad shimmer formula at all. It is really beautiful. You get really high shine, high impact, super sparkly. Love it. Now overall, I think this is another hit for blends. I'm really glad that they went in this direction and not in another sort of rainbow palette, because I think that all of us are rainbowed out, and I really thought that this worked well with the theme. I think this color story is really beautiful, perfect for spring, which is coming up. So if you like this color story, I definitely recommend that you pick this up. I know there are a number of influencer codes floating around, so you can also get this at a discount. So you know what I say, don't pay full price for nothing, but you can pick this up. So in closing, I like this. I really like this. Had I not been gifted this, I would have purchased it on my own anyway, because I really do like the brand. When it comes to Blend Bunny Cosmetics, they're on my short list of brands that I am always looking to see what they're coming out with, and more likely than not going to purchase. Typically on sale, but I'm more likely than not going to purchase from the brand. So I think that this is beautiful. I think that I'm really glad to have this in my collection. I do want to do a couple more get ready with me videos with this. I will have a dedicated video on the quad, the multi-chrome quad, so that will be coming soon. But I will plan to do a couple more looks with this because I'm really excited to play in this, because the Blend Bunny formula is just superb. Okay, but that's it for me for this video. I would love to hear from you. Did you like the color story? Are you planning to pick this up? Do you have any questions? Leave all of that in the comments below. As always, thank you guys so very much for watching, for supporting. I will be back very soon with another video, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!